Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Olivia Liang about season 3 of Kung Fu on the CW. Welcome back to the show. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to be back.
I know. You know what else is back? Kung Fu on the CW.
Kung Fu is back.
I know. Is it a weird feeling knowing that there's like episodes drop, there's like a break, and then, you know, you do your own thing and you're just playing the waiting game, and now we're picking up right back where we left off, right? Is it still like, do you get used to it? Because it's not the first time this has happened, 3 seasons, but like that break is a tough one sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and this one felt super long, especially with that cliffhanger. I mean, I'm never used to it. I mean, the rest of the cast were still like, oh my gosh, we have a TV show on air. Whoa. So there's still nervous excitement every time we have a new episode airing, and hoping that it gets received well, hoping that the people love it and that we did a good job. But yeah, this break felt especially long. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get back into the swing of things and like, what happened in this episode and what happens for the rest of the season? Because it feels like a very long time ago. But yeah, we're very excited to be back.
It's interesting because a lot of shows, I think it depends on the show, but some shows it's like filmed in sequence, like in the order, and some like it's kind of all over the place and everything. When you're reading the scripts, and like you said, how we kind of left off before the break, I mean, like, was there kind of like this, like was it one of those things where you saw it coming a little bit because you're reading the scripts and everything, or was it one of those things that like maybe you get the scripts basically week after week, like before you shoot and you're like, oh wow, like, this is how it's gonna end? Like, how much did you know about that reveal beforehand? Like, I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I knew a general arc of what the season was going to look like from the beginning. I had a meeting with my showrunners and they were like, so this is what we're thinking. These are kind of the big beats that are happening throughout the season. But even though I knew where it was going, reading the script, I was still shocked, still had chills, because I just know that they're like, and Bo is the harvester. And then Nikki finds out, but I don't know how it all happens. So getting to read how it happens, I'm just like, whoa, this is why I'm not a writer. I would have done like the most simple thing. It would have been so basic, but this, like, they built the suspense so well. And when Nikki finally confronts him about it, it was, quite explosive. And I was shocked that they were allowing Nikki to go that dark.
Nikki crossed paths with a lot of characters because she has her family and she has a lot of these characters that come in. She has these characters that we kind of love to see for a couple of episodes that are like the villains for a couple episodes and everything. What is that mindset as an actor, knowing that your character, because I feel like it's happened a lot so far in season 3. I think in season 2 was happening more because there's new characters joining and everything. But what's that mindset for you, Olivia, knowing that your character is going to cross paths with like a lot of people in one season of a show? Because I find that's interesting from an acting perspective.
Yeah. It's exciting. Every time I'm like, ooh, every time I see a guest, and all of our guest stars have been incredible. Like, we do not have one that we're like, oh, didn't add any value to that episode. Like, every single one of our guests have just enhanced the story, and the one that we meet in tomorrow's episode is no exception. We were all freaking out when he was joining us, because he's from Better Call Saul, and he came onto set, and I was like, listen, I'm the guest, this is your show, what do you need from me? But yeah, I mean, I think as an actor, I approach it with like, I want them to feel very welcomed on our set and feel comfortable to do their best work. And, you know, them feeling comfortable and doing their best only helps us even more tell a great story. So I always get excited when I see that there's going to be a new character, because I'm like, ooh, who are they going to bring in?
I feel like I talked to you about this last time we were on the show, but I love the Kung Fu cast so much because I've had a chance to speak to a lot of the cast. I know, it's just, I love it because you can really tell when you ask a question about the show, you can really, because everyone says, you know, the cast is a family, it's a unit. Like, you can really tell with the answers of all the cast Like it won't even be about
It's
the
not
cast.
a lie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so great to see. Like I really love it, and I love the stories and kind of the behind the scenes and just kind of like always kind of looking out for each other. I mean, it does really feel like a family, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we only had each other season 1 and 2. We were shooting in the height of the pandemic, so none of our loved ones were able to be with us, and so we had each other, and we really leaned on each other, and we got so close
Yeah, absolutely. Like
through
with
it all.
quick shout outs because I've interviewed a good amount. I mean, like Eddie, Shannon,
Yep,
JB,
yep,
Ludi, Vanessa. There's a lot. Shout out to the cast.
yes.
No, it's great. 3 seasons now of playing Nikki. Do you feel like you're starting to like? I asked you this last time, and you said I'm starting to a little
Yeah.
bit. Do you understand this character? Because I feel like it's very difficult because there's always these twists and turns and things like get in her path that kind of ruin kind of the clear
Yes.
cutness of things.
Right, right. No, I definitely have a clear understanding of the core of Nikki.
Yes.
But uh, I was quite surprised by where she went this season. I knew we were going dark. I knew we were going to enter into a gray area, but getting to play it and be like, "Whoa, Nikki's capable of this," has been really fun as an actor. And but the core of Nikki, I get. I understand her. She's a much better person than I am, because if it were me, I would be like, "Do I think I need to stop. Like I need a nap, because I actually need to help take Delta down?"
She tolerates a lot.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes, she tolerates a lot. She takes on a lot, and I'm like, does she need to be the hero right now? Or like, but there's something in Nikki that wants to do the right thing and help. She's not necessarily a hero, but she's like, I gotta. If there's a problem in front of me, I want to help, and I can't say that Olivia is the same.
There's something I really enjoy about season 3 that I'd like to share with you that I've kind of noticed because I've watched all seasons that I've noticed. So the character arcs and growths are there, absolutely. From season 1, just seeing even Althea, even Shannon, like just seeing that kind of growth and everything is incredible. I feel like we get these packed episodes of character growth where there's growth for a character in like a 15-minute kind of sequence of an episode. You know how they say like, wow, Nikki really grew a lot this season, over like 10 plus episodes. I feel like you're getting growth and arc in season 3 after one sequence of one episode. Do you notice those things a little bit in the script? Because I definitely have noticed that for season 3 this year.
Yes, definitely. I'm reading the script, and I'm watching that she's like going through something. She has to learn a lesson from it, and then she comes out a better person at the end, or a more knowledgeable person. Yes, she's every episode. If she's not growing, then it's for a reason. But everything is leading up to a huge overarching character growth. And so the writers are super smart about knowing that Nikki has to end up in this place by the end of season 3. So how do we start to like leave those breadcrumbs throughout the season so that it makes sense when she gets there? So they're very smartly writing.
There's growth with Nikki when she's having conversations with her family. And then it's like next scene, and there's a growth there. Like it's crazy to me.
Yes. Yep. And you will see that it all has to pay off at the end.
No, it's so great. The genre bending component of Kung Fu is always going to be there. There's kind of the family, there's the love, like the relationships, there's you mentioned, the action's always going to be there. It's very dark this season. What is so much fun about working on a show that has a lot of these elements? Last interview we did, we talked about the genre bending, but I didn't talk about in terms of a storyteller actor. What's fun for you to do a show like this that has so many elements specifically?
It's fun because then I get to like stretch every single, or like flex every single acting muscle, right? Like I want to be as an actor, like I hope to do a rom-com one day, but then there are these like rom-com moments for Nikki and Henry, Nikki and Bo, and so I get to like live in that rom-com over there, or like I want to do action adventure, and like that's all there. Obviously, I want to do a family drama, that's there. Like everything I could want as an actor to play, I get like this huge playground in Kung Fu. I get to try out
Ooh,
everything.
I love that.
So many different colors. So it's super fun. I'm very grateful that they write so much that we all get to do. And yeah, I think that's something that's super unique about us, is that we get to try on a bunch of different things.
The Kung Fu playground. I love that. That
Yes.
is. Do you always, is it interesting to kind of see, like, do you prepare yourself when an episode drops? Because the Kung Fu fans are amazing, but they're very like quick and they're very like attentive, and they have theories that
They're
sometimes
so funny.
yeah, they are. Do you prepare your, like, are you the cast prepared like that 30 minutes after an episode airs, be like, there's gonna be some stuff that we're gonna have to like take a look at, right? Like, I feel like they're very quick with a lot of their theories and thoughts as well.
And they've been right a lot of the time too. So we're like, oop, uh-oh. Can't spoil this. We get the episodes a couple days before it airs, and so we always watch it and discuss it, and like we start to come up with funny things to say within our own group, and then take it to Twitter so that we could share with the fans. But nothing really prepares you for a fan completely nailing a theory. And so we have a group chat, and we'll be like, oh, she got it right. What do we do? And then we're like, we're just gonna pretend like we don't know anything.
Can you imagine also like
that's kind of our
before that episode airs? Because it's funny, because for future seasons I always find it interesting, because like, you know, when Kung Fu was renewed and before like the episodes were like filmed and everything, people are like asking you all about like things going on, and like you really can't say much because like there's a chance you don't even have the scripts and everything. But I find now with the episode to episode, like, you know, at certain points like what happens. So like if you're kind of like confronted by a fan, like in a couple of episodes I think this is gonna happen, and like they're like, wow, you're right, you really have to like say, oh, like, can you imagine just saying like, no, you're wrong?
Yes. I also, you know what, I like when they're wrong too, because I'm like, ooh, they're in for a surprise. So like when everyone thought that maybe Ludi was the harvester, or like Russell Tan, and like people trying to theorize about that, I was just like, ooh, this is gonna be so fun when they find out that it's Bo.
I kind of thought it was Ludi too, like Ludi as well. But I feel like that was one of those where it was like a little obvious that maybe it was one of those where they kind of threw a little bit of hints at you, but then they were going to take it back quickly, but then actually no, it was him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those back and forths. But yeah, no, I saw a lot of those for sure, which was really, really amazing. And, you know, episodes are back on the CW. The more episodes are rolling out now. We're back with new episodes Kung Fu in February, season 3. Olivia, so great catching up with you. Thanks so much for coming back on the show.
You too. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Your Instagram account is where people can kind of keep update with a lot of things, right?
Yes.
Is it just your name?
That, and then Twitter. It's my Instagram is @itmeolive.
Okay, perfect. And then Twitter and all that.
Yes.
And
Twitter, we love interacting with the fans. I'm always retweeting because they're so funny. So you can find us interacting really heavily with y'all on Twitter.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Popternative.com has other content as well, from news, pop culture, and our interviews as well. You can, of course, catch Olivia as Nikki in Kung Fu on the CW season 3. Episodes are rolling out now. Until next time, this is Olivia and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.